on, big hand for Brother Dawood. Come on. Big hand for Brother Dawood.
Introducing Brother Dawood.
Do we need this thing?
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyway, we've been doing this for about 12 years. This May, we started out in Long Island City with Dr. John Moore, who was assassinated by some Harlemites and some Detroitites and some Tuskegeeites. Tuskegeeites. And, okay, I just hold it?
Yeah, just hold it.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. And this May will be the 12th year, started the FEE Foundation, Foundation for the Education and Enlightenment of Dark People. Well, you see, we didn't get too far with that because obviously they're not enlightened and they certainly ain't educated. So, but anyway, valiantly, we've continued on. And when we first started, you speak about the Illuminati, people would run from it. People would run from there. They stop in the street, they say, well, Brother Dawood, they ain't killed you yet? You ain't dead? They say, you supposed to be dead. So within this type of movement, reformation, of enlightened individuals that come on, a lot of confusion. Since then, you got so many folks, Delbert Blair and folks coming all over the place, and they present things the way they feel it has to be presented. Just like anything else, people have different techniques, different styles, different ways they present certain information. We're just saying that you have to use your spiritual principles to use that. With that, we talk about during this period, Brother Bobby Hemmitt came out of Georgia with a number of observations, and he tends for, it's easier for black people to digest what he's saying only because he always brings a lot of books and a lot of visual aids, because black people are kind of slow. So Bobby has a kind of patience to do that. See? I don't have that kind of patience, so that's one thing I have to take my hat off to him, is that he will take the time to go through all these books. Like I said, Dr. Clark read himself blind, and I think at this particular point in time, you shouldn't have to have somebody to come and give you this over and over and over, give you 19 books. Well, you want to see? The book says it here, you hear, you hear. Everybody right now, what book is that? What year was it? What publisher was it? You should be on that. But everybody got different styles. So some people can disseminate the information better with Bobby Hemmitt because he's still dealing with a style where you're dealing with a lot of the intellectual, get this bookism and get that kind of stuff. Hey, if you get something out of it, fine. But like anything else, you're always going to have some kind of controversy. So I'll leave it at that. All we're saying is when whatever brother presents anybody else, you have to apply it to just two dogmas we always say. How does this apply to the destruction of Western civilization? And that the sum total of an origin of evil on the planet Earth is the devil or the Caucasian. And with that, not so much a disclaimer, we're just trying to explain things. We're going to give you Brother Bobby Hemmitt.
All right. All right, Brother Bobby Hemmitt.
Oh,
yeah, I think I got it.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. You got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right. Yeah. Well, we've been dealing a long time, Brother Dawood and I. The whole AWAS factor and all that type of stuff. He was the first person to actually, first black person actually to even deal with Crawley's thing. You know, even deal with Crawley's thing during that particular time. I think, especially if you get the interview with Clemson Brown, the one he did with Clemson Brown back in '88, and he did one with Burt too. Like Cole and Wilson say, this is probably some of the greatest occult information ever given to break this thing down, starting from Atlantis and Lemuria on in. If you get a hold of that tape, this is probably some of the greatest occult stuff ever put down on a tape. And it actually inspired me. What happened was, in actuality, back in '91, we used to sit up all night trying to find out how we're going to get black people out of this stuff. You know, and basically we was dealing with the physical and the mundane, and everything we would deal with, we come up with a common sense going, you know, black people ain't gonna do that shit. You know, so basically what happened is one day I was walking through a room full of people and sitting around trying to discuss the problem, and the Spirit just told me, this shit is a spiritual thing, not necessarily a mundane thing when it comes to taking this beast off the planet. And another brother said, it's interesting you say that, because that's what the brother Dawood said also too. We talking about a spiritual thing, and in so many words, at that particular time, I think he was like one of the few people out here, even telling people, even in the Afrocentric thing, that there is also another way, because, you know, we had people talking about the mystery, but no one could actually ever explain the mystery, because the thing about it is most historians is not occultists. And I remember going up in Brother Dawood's apartment, and he had this book by the Geiger book. The Geiger book. Geiger is the guy who did the artwork for the aliens and all that stuff. So he had Geiger's Necronomicon, and I remember I think it was Sister Myra was like, man, ooh, that was a scary looking book he had up in there, because the Geiger stuff, if you haven't seen it before and all, it's really some spooky looking stuff and all. You know, the alien stuff you can deal with, but his Necronomicon, boy, he really gets into it. So, like I said, dealing with the Tarot deck, the Corrali Tarot deck and all that type of stuff. This stuff was actually unknown and stuff until Dawood introduced this stuff. Brother Dawood introduced this stuff. Like I said, most of the people who came and presented the information presented it from a mundane physical level, including, it's even the same thing with Steve Coakley. He could tell you about the Illuminati, but I don't think that he ever actually dealt with the occult realm. So also all of a sudden, when you see these white people dealing with this stuff, and you don't study the occult, you'll think that everything in the occult is evil, and the occult means only that which has been hidden. Only that which has been hidden. So to no further ado, what we want to do right now is we want to give the ancestors some. Clemson Brown rode off with my suitcase with all my stuff in it and all. And I had my little rum and all the stuff to do the actual ritual. But what we're going to do is we're just going to basically call out the Ashes and stuff. So we're going to kick this thing off with the Vodun energies. And I just do it off the top of my head. You know, you give the Ashe, and I guess well, we can just hold on 1 minute. I guess we could just take some water and
All right.
just set it right here. I guess that'll be theirs. I got a big jug somewhere up under here. And all right, and that's enough. That's enough also too. That's cool too. You know, you want to lie them, brother, and just, you know, do some things. And also, you know the deal. We're gonna do the Ashes. Give the voodoo energy the actual power. So with no further ado, we're going to start off with Ishu Elegba, who's the opener of the gateways and stuff. And we're going to actually deal with that tonight also too. So Ishu Elegba, Ashe, Razuli, Ashe Gatorado, Ashe Zaka, Ashe Alafi, Ashe Damawalawedo, Ashe Bridget, Ashe Marafa, Ashe Rasha, Ashe Adamwerdi, Ashe Baffaman, Okureli, Ashe Okushingo, Ashe Razuli, Ashe what Gate, Ashe Papa Gate, Ashe Simba, Ashe Loa, Ashe. So let's go on to the let's go on to the other side. Akula Kulu, Ashe Nakumpa, Ashe Ribelinga, Ashe Oshosi, Ashe Olakun, Ashe Olarun, Ashe Rumala, Ashe Obatala, Ashe Odudawa, Ashe Babaluaye, Ashe Shingo, Ashe Oshun, Ashe Ogun, Ashe Orisha Oku. I say Hoya. I say Omi Tutu. I say Ani Tutu. I say Ili Tutu. I say Elegba. I say Newt. I say Abbott. I say Tired. I say Shingo. I say, like, we got to do some loud ones because, you know, we're trying to get this energy up. So, Heru. I say Heru Kahudi. I say Heru Raha. I say Harsefi. I say Awas. I say Ibas. I say Ovas. I say Thunderdog. I say Sunday. I say Thunderbird. I say Bataneta Unra. I say Sutnesi. I say Sutnubit. I say Mayat. I say Munch. I say Minibis. I say Mintu. I say Mintu Sibara'a. I say Mintel Sing Sing. I say Mamalatu. I say Bashashaitu. I say Patanetu Unra. I say Nedura Atan. I say Atan. I say Adani. I say Ain. I say Ain Suda Uda. I say Ain Sala. I say Darth. I say Kether. I say Shakma. I say Baina. I say Tripura. I say Maksad. I say Had. I say Yased. I say Malkuth. I say Kalipa. I say Rudra. I say Shiva. I say Asuras. I say Titans. I say Titans. I say Leviathan. I say Leviathan. I say Inanna. I say Ishtar. I say let's see, hold on 1 minute, let me get a, let's see, Heracles. I say Prometheus. I say Epimetheus. I say, I guess that'll be good for right now. For all gods known and unknown, I say. So 1, 2, 3, the Hemmitt family, Shaw family, Davis family, all my family members, I say. 1, 2, 3, start calling out your family members. 1, 2, 3. I say. 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 To all gods known and unknown, I say. To all anti-gods unknown and unknown, I say. To all ancestors known and unknown, I say. Okay, so get right into it. A couple of spiritual breakthroughs and stuff. I'm actually literally celebrating it all because before I really go into this and all, and I will go into it, but I have to give a little hard copy and stuff, you know, report in on what's going on. You know, each time we report into New York and all, we'll just tell you some other sides of things that's actually going on also too. But I'm actually celebrating because my entire journey, what I was doing is basically I was doing research and I would come and report the research to you. But on the other hand, I was also doing spiritual breakthroughs to try to gain a certain amount of power, to try to gain a foothold on some actual things also too. And as a result, we worked from 94 up to 96. And although I did a lot of rituals, and those rituals gained a lot of information, I did get a little bit of energy, but the type of power that I was looking for, I wasn't able to get. And I think I had to go through what is called the dark side mysteries or the underworld mysteries. And after coming up out of that underworld mysteries or the dark side mysteries, anyway, let's say the last one I did, I hit dead on the money. And as a result, I ended up getting what I needed. And so we will go into that, and that is a celebration. And in so many words, this is a manifesto tonight to go on the offensive with the United States government, the European powers that rule the world, and their black conspirators or the Uncle Toms that also help them. Now when we say go on the offensive, we're not talking about voicing our opinions. We're not talking about that. What we mean when we say go on the offensive, let this be known, we're talking about tonight declaring war on the United States government and the cracker and everything else on this particular planet, and eventually humanity itself, for those people that know what I'm talking about. And so this is actually a manifesto to, it's time for at least me to shit or get off the pot. So basically I received a certain amount of power. I couldn't do nothing up until this time. I hit it and it was dead on the money, and I will go into this tonight. But as a result, I'm not going to use this shit for personal gain. You know what I'm saying? person gain, I mean, and I'm talking about as far as money and stuff, and God knows I sure as hell need it. You know, but this power came, and this power came for one thing and one thing only, and that is to go to war. Fuck the dumb shit. So basically, it's to go to war, and I will go into this, and I will explain what this is. Also, I will explain what this is. Am I transmitting right?
I got you on the open mic.
Okay, you
wanna hook it up?
straight. So I will go into this magical adventure of this record of magical operations that transpired between the years of, let's say, 1994, actually between, I mean, the last 10 years, but basically the real assertive effort to do this between the years of 1994 and now. And so basically what we're talking about is, this is a celebration because we hit gold, but I'm saying in actuality, I found a breakthrough and a contact from the outer dimensions to learn how to kick this cracker straight in his ass. And that's what we're talking about doing. All bullshit aside, because, and I will get into this and all, because we stand to lose by the end of 2001. If we let it go to 2001, we stand to lose just about all the Africans off of the continent.
That's right.
Now, they're talking about 75,000 cases a month dying from AIDS. That's 900,000 cases a year. Now, I worked for Outreach, which was, they pass out condoms in the ghetto. I worked for the shit about a week until the spirit told me, hey, if you're gonna spread AIDS, put it in the condom. So I worked for about a week back in 91. You know what I'm saying? Back in 91. Because they was paying our ass good money. So why the hell they gonna pay us good money to pass out, you know? So I worked for about a week and got about a check out of it. But they told us something at the little retreat we had. They'll have these retreats, like once a year. It just so happened when I got on the retreat was the damn week after I worked. So I went to the retreat. And they tell you, if you see any AIDS case or you see any case, always, like, if you got one person, always add 9 more to that person. So always count 9 times. So we know that the government is only going to give you a third of what's actually going down. Whereas in actuality, if he's saying it's going to be 900,000 dying, somebody do the math, 9 times 900,000. If you got a calculator or something.
2700,000.
That's 2,700,000. Now, that's 2,700,000 on the AIDS alone. That's not including UNICEF reports of 5 million children dying from famine a year that they killed. That's not including 5 million babies, infants. That's not including gang warfare that they started. You see what I'm saying? That's not including famine that killed adults and all the other stuff. That's just in the AIDS department alone, 2,700,000. You see, that's just one area. Meanwhile, we know that they only have to give you a reason, and that means that they can wipe the whole continent off. And the reason why is because we as black people, and not necessarily you in here, but the majority of us, suffer from a brain atrophy, which means that our minds don't work. And what we have to even question whether we have been thinking the last 130-something years. From Emancipation Proclamation, which was 130 years in 95, so last 135 years, we must even think and see what we were even using thought at all, or what we was basically running off of was basically instinct, emotion. And then the white boy is not the specimen to base whether you are thinking on a rational level based on having him as a model, because he is a grown-up juvenile delinquent. So that means that we are doggone primary schoolers. But what we're saying is we got to even think whether what we even call thought itself. You see what I'm saying? That we probably haven't thought since they put our ass on the boat and knocked us in the head. And we literally have to push the envelope. and say, am I really functioning on the normal level? You see what I'm saying? We must rebel against all comfort zones. We must question happiness. And we must rebel against happiness. Because it's your pursuit of happiness that gets your ass in trouble. We must rebel against finances. Now, I'm not saying that you got to go and get some diapers and walk around with a big ass stick. But I'm talking about this mentality that I got to get all of this commercial shit just to be human is out of the question. You see what I'm saying? We talking about bare basics. We got to rebel against what we even call being human. Because obviously our explanation of what is human is based off of what some European taught. We don't know. We don't know what our mind was previous to the European's mind. Because we know we have his mind now. We have to question everything. We even have to question love. What the fuck is that shit? And because the black woman is failing miserably at finding that motherfucking superficial love, then you gotta reject that shit. And maybe pain and suffering is the only clear and true thing there is on this planet. You said, oh, that's some crazy shit there. So let's say, reject love, reject humanity, reject happiness, even reject black people. Then you ask the question, wait a minute. You say, but this is insane. Yeah, it would be insane if you were a human. But let's say that you are God or some entity. Rejecting those things that I call a characteristic that make you human wouldn't be such a bad idea if you was God and somebody told you, your ass told you that you were human. You understand where I'm coming from here? You see the concept? Now, all the ancient mythology says that at one time you were advanced entities, rulers of the omniverse. So the things that I just told you, the things that fundamentally make you human, now if you were God, it wouldn't be no problem rejecting that shit. It's only when you are told that you are a doggone human, which in this case, obviously the God thing has got to register up because we fail miserably at being human. At least now. Shit can't work for us. Right? We the masters of screwing up everything. So if things don't work for us, that means in actuality, they're not supposed to work for us. And we must even question the very existence of reality. That's what the Matrix told you, question reality. Right? These are the things that we have to get our mind on a certain level because nothing seems to work. We'll go to lecture after lecture, and yes, everybody comes before you, the comprehensive plans that the black scholars and everybody has, all of them are right. They do work. Common sense, they make common sense. You know what I'm saying? But they don't apply to us. They might apply to some younger race of people, but not us. And that we must go and we must try to find what applies to us. And obviously what applies to us is not in the realm of human existence. And if you eliminate everything that you think makes you human, then your ass is free. What's that, brother?
So, what you saying, everything that is marked by conversion.
Speak up, can't hear you.
Speak up, man.
I'm saying, before we can physically do it, and we're not talking about the masses of the people, so don't think, like Colin said, we can't tell the masses about. I said, no, we got to reject moralism. He said, you can't tell them, you know, in the conference, you can't tell black people to accept, reject communism, moralism. I said, first of all, I'm not talking to black people. This is not a black leadership conference. This is a conference for the conscious people that are just trying to get a grasp on this thing because you're the only motherfuckers there is. Everybody else, you can hang it up. Ain't no each one teach one, and we ain't gonna take it to no streets.
That's right.
You are the best there is, and the gods to come back is you in this room. Not out there in the street. So we're not talking to them. I wouldn't dare go and tell a nigga on the street that you must reject moralism. I'm talking to you. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking to you. But I wouldn't dare be a fool to call myself a black leader. You know what I'm saying? Lead who? A bunch of niggas that I don't like? We even have to question whether we like each other, and because innately we don't like each other, there's a reason for that. Maybe that's spiritual, the reason why you don't like each other. Oh, we got to do the unity. You know, all the same old rhetoric, but why don't you like each other? Because your spirit is rebelling against human existence. Now, if you're rebelling against human existence, I don't suppose to like you. I'm supposed to like your soul on the inside and the freedom of your energy and your soul is going to another existence. But anything human, I'm supposed to rebel against it. And because we're the only people that hate each other, we're the only people right for this fucking task to get the fuck out of here. Think about it. So we just broke up a whole lot of damn laws here. Everything that we say is wrong with us is good. We don't like each other. Let's deal with that. Why don't we like each other? Because we've been on the planet as humans about 13 billion years. So we're tired of being human. And now it's to go to the next paradigm shift. No more shit than what the Bible said. The good Christians. This is my home. I'm just passing through. The flesh is weak. You see what I'm saying? So now, if we don't supposed to be here, if a caterpillar don't supposed to go into a cocoon to become a damn caterpillar, but supposed to become a butterfly, then the caterpillar has to hate the goddamn caterpillar. Because it don't supposed to be a caterpillar anymore, it's supposed to be a butterfly. You get it? We've done the fucking caterpillar thing, the cocoon stage, for 13 billion years. Now it's time to metamorphosize into a new reality. A new monster, a new demon, a new thing and everything that you scared of in the movies. But from the demon perspective, it's very superior. Like on Hellraiser 2, when he met up with Leviathan, he said, "To think I hesitated." You get where I'm coming from here? It's only if you're thinking like a damn human. But we're talking about 2018 and we ain't gonna be able to take the cracker off the planet physically. All you gotta do is get the movie Hunt for Red October. That's a movie that made to give you a reality check. Anybody ever saw Hunt for Red October? Just go back and watch that movie and see how them crackers deal. It's like Leola Africa said, this man is a warfare specialist. But he's a warfare specialist in his realm, the physical realm. We are spiritual warriors, and so therefore you can't become a physical warrior because you are a spiritual warrior. And what I'm talking about is spiritual warfare, and I'm talking about I'm going to do the shit my goddamn self if I have to. Well, now I'll give you the method on how I'm doing it. I advise you not to fuck with this shit because you will die. But don't worry about it. I did it a month ago, and I'm here standing here talking for you. But I'll go into those endeavors. You know what I'm saying? But for the mere fact I'm here talking to you and it didn't dissolve my body, that means that the shit I did was successful. To come back from the grave. Because the whole origin was to go to death. So we'll go into that. But the key and what I'm talking about here is the reason why this sounds strange because I can't come before you and give you stuff that makes common sense. Our brains do not work on common sense. You see, this is some of the greatest times in the world because we are standing before black people and we're dealing with shit that is outrageous. If it was to get out to the national public and they would air this on TV, they would say this guy is insane. But what is sanity? And insanity is only what you told yourself it was. It's right. You see what I'm saying? Now, if Clemson Brown gets back in time to get my books out the car, I got a book called Melanin People, How to Eat Them and Drain Their Energy. And it goes into how they take you when they get you in them churches and drain your energy. It's a Luciferian group. and all that stuff. So we'll get into that also when we get the book. It's going for 10 bones, but you need to get the book. You need to get the book and all. So now, let's go into a question and answer. Anybody, now wait a minute, now before we go on, now see, this is the thing also too, we cannot be cowards. You cannot sit in the audience and deem this man crazy and then sit the next 3 hours listening to it. You need to clear shit up now if you don't understand what we're talking about, because that's what understanding is. You're supposed to ask questions. We're not talking about questioning anything. But what we're talking about here is a new paradigm shift to get to the God realm. And the God realm means it's got to be anti-human. We have done the human thing. You understand what I'm saying? We've done the human thing. I'm telling you, we are on the brink of whipping this motherfucker ass. We have made this shit, and so tonight is a manifesto to say that I'm going on the offensive of declaring war on the United States government, white people, the European powers, and all black people who want to stand with white people, and eventually humanity itself. That's right. We talking about it. So, what I'm saying is that, okay, I've come before you the last, I started speaking here in February of '94, the first time I spoke in New York. So, we always talked about the future and what's going to happen in the future. So I'm quite sure you're saying, man, we heard this shit before. We heard you come and say that this stuff is over. Now this is 2000. But now I'm telling you that the shit is on. And I'm going to go into my endeavors and my magical thing and what I hit and crossed over. We're going to go through all of that tonight also too. But first of all, let's go to some hard copy just to see how the cracker is rolling on this thing. First of all, that Ilion shit. Little Ilion ass. Now, first of all, you gotta understand, number one, it is a form of mind control. It's twofold. It's mind control to distract you. But on the other hand, it's a great big ritual going on. Moses was fished from the water. They got him up out of the water. They showed the 10 Commandments 1 week. They raided on Easter to go get young Ilion's ass the next week. Now come on, the cracker don't damn do nothing on his holidays. Or he'll go home for the damn, you know, one thing you can set your clock to. On his holidays, he ain't gonna do shit. Because he know that's the time that we gotta indoctrinate people. So he'll come back on Monday, not to fuck with his holidays. You see what I'm saying? So, but on Good Friday, which consists of this shit, you see what I'm saying? Leading on into that Saturday, they made the offensive on their ass. And that was a ritual. Anytime they go in on Easter, and they showed the 10 Commandments the week before, usually it falls on Easter weekend. You see? But anytime they go in on Easter, you see, that's a resurrection of the Christ child. He wasn't white. He was a white Cuban, but he got some little mixed up, contaminated blood in him, as the white man say. You know, a nigger is a nigger. Although he ain't one of us, don't get me wrong. Because there ain't no blacks in no fucking little Havana.
He's on the low white totem pole.
You see, he just one of the, yeah, right. But still, yeah, they know that by him not being total mutant, that'll do for the Christ. Because the Christ got to be something other than a mutant. Okay? So this is a ritual going on, and they got everybody locked in. First of all, I was kind of happy. Crackers come over here. Now we know if the white man come and say, give him up today, and you disobey their orders and you black, they'll be in there tonight to get this shit. So I figured they was lenient to wait 2 weeks. They ain't never gave a nigga no 2 weeks now. When that judge say, you got 10 days to get out. Now it might be a day that the sheriff might have slept too late or some kind of shit, but on a certain day, I know down in Georgia, they set you, it's different up here, because Georgia's still a penal colony. They setting your shit out on the street. You see what I'm saying? So they were lenient. They was lenient actually on this Ilion thing. But it was all a big ritual of a vernal equinox, vernal equinox, which is spring equinox ritual. You see what I'm saying? They didn't find a motherfucker on damn Thanksgiving. Come on now, get the hell up out of here. They find somebody, now isn't it interesting that they find him on Thanksgiving and then they resurrect him on Easter, 2 holidays. Come on now. We saying that the whole shit is set up and Castro is the only thing too, because he ain't nothing but a government agent. He showed you that when he buck danced for the doggone Pope.
I know you crazy. I know you crazy.
Huh?
I know you crazy.
Oh please, come on now. Come on now. We can't get emotional here now. We know damn well. Let me tell you something, so we can not be funny with this damn mess. They got the real revolutionaries, they don't never show you on TV. They done killed 400 African leaders since the 1950s, and we don't even know about it. For the mere fact they stubbing Castro down your throat, you best believe Castro was in on the shit from the get-go. Don't let, now come on, we can't be funny with this damn mess here now. Look, didn't they kill a lot of African leaders on the continent from the 60s and the 50s on up? Did you ever hear about them? No. You be 50 and somebody will tell you about some black leader that died in 1960 and you don't even know about it. For the mere fact they give you Castro, that was a doggone diversionary thing in the first place. You understand what I'm saying? Communism and capitalism, one and the fucking same? You see? Che Guevara ass dead. You see? You see? You see, so the point I'm trying to make here is, this whole shit with Castro now, well, just to make a long story short, he might have had some noble cause in the beginning. We know it was hooked up with the whole Yoruba thing, but also Castro was over there trying to, after he let the Yoruba thing take him to power, supposedly. This is where I'm saying, do you know Castro was over there and he tried to destroy the Yoruba priesthood? That's right. Yeah. Come off the dumb shit. You ain't, that's right. Castro was over there trying to outlaw Santeria. So let's not be funny with this damn shit because he set up with some damn Malcolm X and some hotel guy down the street. That don't mean shit. We talking about these people don't give you a revolutionary person that you can latch on to that's the real shit. Never. They got people on the planet right now you don't even know about. They got white people right now that you don't even know about. And you think that they got Castro and they got all these crackers and that whole shit going down, it ain't a part of it? Then this asshole go and send 3 little children, some little black boy. I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell you doing sending some little black kindergarten children? Ilion don't give a fuck who he is as long as the room full of toys. He showed that shit. He showed that shit. He was crying and shit. You know, the week before, he on the video talking shit. Papa, Papa, I don't want to go back to Cuba, Papa. Papa, Papa, I don't want to go back to Cuba. Just talk, little Ilion just talking shit. They done coached me up, Papa, Papa, I want to go back to Cuba. The next day, they bust up in there and get his ass. He up there with his papa grinning. Because they had a whole plane full of toys. You know, come in there and broke his little race car bed and that other family shit. Toys R Us outfitted, you know, a damn child. Do you know his daddy? Now he's figuring now, I'm concerned, daddy, because ain't no toys, but daddy plus toys? Fuck them niggas. You know that shit. Why he was grinning? The government said to set that nigga out with a whole bunch of toys.
From Disney World?
All that stuff, so I'm trying to say, this whole thing is a fiasco, and what's the name is in on the shit? Castro. He in on it. You see, let's put it this way. Let me show you how things go. This might have been a noble person that was over there in the 60s. But we got to even question whether that's even Castro now anyway. Because cloning, they didn't have it since 1945. They could have slipped in there and killed that nigga ass a long time ago. So now he buck dancing with the Pope. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the last person to let up in your shit is the Pope. You see, the Pope, you see, so I'm just saying this whole thing is a form of a government conspiracy, and we can't be emotional enough to buy to think that what's on that TV set is really what's really going on. Like that's some real shit. If it's some real shit, it ain't on TV. TV is for deception at all times. Didn't biography do a damn thing on Castro? Let me tell you something. When the Jewish A&E network do a biography on your ass, you government agent. You see what I'm saying? They did one on Farrakhan. You know that nigga called Billy Graham up a month ago or 2 months ago and apologized to Billy Graham? Minister Louis Farrakhan called Billy Graham up and apologized, said, I'm sorry about talking shit about white people. Billy Graham. That nigga called Billy, not the ultimate. You know you done buck dance to the umpteenth, fifth power. To call Billy Graham? He called Billy Graham up the first of the year and apologized for talking shit about white people. Farrakhan. You can take it or let it alone, as he used to say. And the whole thing that went down and all, the whole thing that went down, everybody should know now, conscious people and people with common sense should know now, homeboy been sold out. Let me tell you something, Wallace Dean, one thing about CIA Wallace don't come nowhere near your ass now unless you even down on his party. See what I'm saying? He don't come nowhere near your ass. You see, so these are some things that's actually going on. What we have now is we have a turn of a culture. This basically, let me explain something to you. About 30 years ago to 40 years ago, Uncle Tom used to be a person in the community. You had one every 100 people, or one every 90 people, and they were like a social pariah. He the Uncle Tom. This is the, you know, he was the outsider. He was the persona non grata. You know what I'm saying? He was the minute, he was the exiled, but he was the complete minority, he or she, who was the Uncle Tom 30 years ago. Nobody even wanted to be labeled an Uncle Tom 30 years ago. Now, Uncle Tom is the paradigm, it is the racial identity. It is the majority, and now the conscious brothers and sisters are somebody who's just black aware. You know, aware. Black awareness is now the social pariah, the persona non grata, the exile, the minority. They flipped the script where Uncle Tom is now the racial identity. There is no such thing as a black race, it's just Toms and Thomasinas. Uncle Tom is what the race is now. Tomville. So Uncle Tom is the majority of every nigga you see. And the class now is the clandestine, persona non grata, the cancer, the lepers. You get it? 30 years ago, you was pointing your finger at the Uncle Tom. Now, no one wants to be named, labeled black and conscious. Oh, you doing that black thing.
Yeah.
So they had flipped it. Now, Uncle Tom is the paradigm. It is the thing to be. You see? Now, you can sell out and nobody don't even miss no sleep over the shit. Because everybody's doing it. And it's called career, education, and what we, you know, or what we call education. Success, or what they call now prosperity, inspirational prosperity. You see, all this bullshit. Now they're doing the whole census thing. Now number one, they're doing this census thing, number one, to see how many black people they killed in the 1990s. And how many black people that they need to kill to make the damn shit right. Now you know that anytime all the commercials on the census is black, even got a damn census paper talking like a black person, we should be offended by that shit. Or they think about you like you were just a damn fourth grader. They said, no, we just, no, because, you know, obviously the children is not the one that's putting out the census. They're saying that we are thinking that grown people in their 50s, their 40s, and their 30s, they will literally get a kick out of a census form talking. Ooh, did you feel me out? This is the year 2000. You are world-class people. This is a blatant insult. You're saying it in actuality, you a 40-year-old rusty-ass nigga or rusty-ass woman, and you walking by, you go get you some damn beans off the stove, and you go, damn! Look at that shit talk like that. Did you feel this shit out? You shit. But that's the way they think about your monkey ass. And then this is what you'll get, nothing. You know, the nigga that gets the actor, he bombed out as an actor, you know. Too many police officers or whatever, you know, little background shit. So they got him on the census thing, some black actor nigga. He show all this building up the community, and if you don't fill this out, this is what you're gonna get, nothing. Now wait a minute, hold on now, wait a minute. We know the last 10 years, they have gotten rid of every entitlement program a black person can lay down on.
Yes, you are.
They done got rid of all affirmative action. They done got rid of everything. They done got rid of welfare. But all of a sudden, they gonna give you something based on you filling out a census form? At least the niggas in affirmative action was building their civilization for them. That just make common sense. You want to get your slaves in on building your civilization. But they took that from your ass. But all of a sudden, you mean to tell me they're going to take all the entitlement programs? You know what I'm saying? Construction workers, this and that, and yet then they're going to come back to you and say, if you fill this out, we're going to give you the world? And we are stupid enough to believe that after what happened the last 10 years?
That's right.
That's how they got the Japanese.
You see? And we believe this shit? Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said two things on how this is going down, because they always kill two birds with one stone. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that he's going to give you everything, including his woman, in the last days. So when God comes to kill them, to kill you too. This is a metaphor for a lot of things. Now, two things happening here. The whole reparation thing is up. That's in court now. But now, they done politely pull out that Sally Hemmitt bullshit with Thomas Jefferson, and they having all kind of specials on and DNA things, and they saying that black people, your Y chromosome, you got a lot of black. One nigga on there from Harvard say, I traced my damn roots back to Europe and Nigeria, but the male stuff went to Europe. So what they gonna do is on the little thing, they gonna come up and say, you can't get no money from some reparations because you ain't 100% black. You European. That's one way they're doing it. Then again, on the other hand, I couldn't give a shit about you all getting some money.
That's right.
See what I'm saying? Damn some fucking reparations. Like I told you before. Is that what it all boiled down? You got kicked in the ass in slavery, your mama got raped, and that's all it boiled down to is $1 billion? So you can go to the mall?
Right back.
What's that, sister?
If they come up with that, wouldn't it be fair for us to come up and say, then you owe us for raping our grandparents, our great-grandparents?
But the point is this here. Humane-wise, you shouldn't want to put a price tag on the rape of your grandparents. Do you think if you go kill one of their damn, you could have $1 billion? You go kill that little white bald-head child in that damn crib, you could have $1 billion. He say death penalty, and you can't buy your way out of that shit. See what I'm saying? If you a nigga. We got a price tag. That's what Joseph Cipollone says in his book. Joseph Cipollone in his book, Making Sense of the Madness, What's Going On, and on the website, Joseph Cipollone said that the true beings will do anything for money.
Right.
I see, we trying to be humane here. Somebody break in your house and rape your little boy, stick your TV up your little boy's rectum. You mean to tell me that this person can compensate you with $1 billion? That's what I'm trying to say. What's the difference between now, if they did it now, because they rape little boys, raise them for pedophilia, and the ancestors before. The point I'm trying to make here is, don't go by how you feel. Go by, don't. Go by the spirit.
Okay, I understand that.
We're talking spirit. See, we'll go to church. We'll go to church. And we'll believe in what the spirit say. But then the cracker can pass out money, and we just disregard the spirit. And we're trying to get up out of this on a spiritual manifestation. Now, I understand what you're talking about now. Logically, rationally, economically, it does make sense to get paid reparations. But spiritually, your Bible says don't make no deal with the damn devil. Now, that's just basic fundamental Christianity.
That's right.
Muhammad didn't believe that. Muhammad said he wanted reparation. Mr. Muhammad believed in reparation. Mr. Muhammad put that theory out about the devil. He believed in getting due pay.
You talking about Elijah Muhammad?
Yeah.
Elijah Muhammad was dealing with a system of 30 years ago. He also wrote, but he was conscious enough to write the theology of time and the fall of America. And he said, after me comes God. Now we're in the God stage and you want to get paid off. You understand why we got to destroy humanity now? See, wait a minute. First of all, what we're trying to do with this here, take a deep breath and try to understand something outside of logic and rationale. Logically and rationally and common sense-wise, it makes common sense to get paid. But we're not talking about common sense because common sense don't work for us. We're talking, didn't I tell you first that you must challenge even your own human thought? You understand where I'm coming from here? Try to think on a higher fucking level than some goddamn dollar bill. Does anybody understand what the fuck I'm trying to say here? You the richest people already on the country. How much more shit out the mall you need to buy? How many more cars you need to buy? See,
Money for you.
listen to me. This is the problem. There's something based on inspirational theology to make you feel good. What I'm trying to teach you is to be a God. What, you ever see Godzilla? You think Godzilla give a damn about a motherfucking trunk full of money? What are you gonna do, sit up at a bar? I'm Godzilla, I'm drinking some damn cognac. Hey baby, you want a drink? Think on a higher level. This is what we talking spirit here. Don't go by how you feel because they have tampered by the way you feel.
Yes.
Do you know that the elite don't even live off money?
That's right.
Tell it.
Don't need it.
And you mean to tell me that if the white man can produce your happiness based on economics, that means that you saying to me that the white man is God. And we trying to get our people out of this shit. Didn't see we got to start processing. See what happened is when we're talking about getting to a higher level, I said that we must challenge, to question even our thought pattern. That means that data has to process. Now let me explain what I'm talking about here. I first started out telling you that they're getting ready to kill. Yeah, I told you that by the end of next year, there won't be no Africans left on the continent. You have to process that. Then I came with the reparations, and you asked the question based on the reparation. Well, up against them doing mass genocide, reparation is foolish.
That's right.
And the only reason why he is even to the point, yeah. Glad you're here. I'm straight. I got it. Okay. The only reason why he is even to the point is because Okay, we rolling. We rolling. The only reason why he's even, this is what I'm looking for right here. Now, we need to give a God some real deal juice. All right, no, I got it. You stop straight. I'm straight. Now, we just did some libation. Get you some Myers rum. Jamaican rum. Myers rum. Now, if you ain't got no insurance on your car, you do what I just told you to do in your car or on your tires and you won't get stopped. You see? We'll go into this. Now, since I gave the God some, I'll lie back myself. That day. Now, on the serious tip, they don't want no water. You remember your ancestors that used to walk around the house embarrassing you? All drunk, remember them? Them the same niggas in the spirit realm. And they drunks. Don't give them no water. That's for ceremony. But give them some Myers Jamaican rum.
151?
Whatever. No, give them some Jamaican rum. There's about several Jamaican rums or any rum coming from the islands like Antigua, Bahamas. You can get some. Give them some rum. This was. But if you drive in a car, you don't want to get on a wreck. You don't want the man stopping you on a roadblock. You got expired license, no insurance, harboring a fugitive. Put this down. Okay? I think I got a napkin in here. Now.
Tissue right there, bro.
Okay.
A lot of tissue right there.
Oh, you got tissue?
Right under the bag. Right there.
Oh. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we got tissue. Now, you know, we ghetto style.
Hey, Bob.
When we rolling on the toilet paper thing. But now, don't front now.
Bob.
You know you cooking, and you run out of damn paper napkins. You'll go in there and rob water or some toilet paper to catch that damn grease.
Hey, Bob.
We don't get innovative like that. What's that?
The crackers, they making the rum, man.
Huh?
The crackers are making the rum.
Right.
The rum, this is a God without a physical body.
Okay, brother.
What the fuck he get? I don't give a damn if they put some damn arsenic in here. See, you got the process. I said give it to the gods. You think the gods gonna get... The gods, only way the shit can hurt you is you got a physical body.
Yeah.
And you drink too much of this shit till your liver get fucked up.
Yeah.
But if you a god and you don't have a physical body, you get it? You gotta start thinking on a higher level. The fucking God give a damn. They can put some fucking bubonic plague up in there. The voodoo energy say they won't run. I'm telling you what they done said. You go to damn Nigeria, you go to any place on the continent, you go to the damn islands, they spitting rum. So give a God some rum, some Myers Jamaican rum, and any rum from the islands. You see? From the island rum. But this is some good one here. You see what I'm saying too? Now, so the point I'm trying to make here is this. I'm not talking to the masses of the people out there. Now, I will say this much. If they make the decision to start passing out the money, well, ain't nothing you can do about that then, so you might as well go on down there and get your check. But don't say that this is based on compensating you for your ancestors. That's a fucking abomination.
Right.
Your ancestors died because of money and property. And you mean to tell me that they died for is going to be your redeeming factor? That what put you in slavery can never be your redeemer. But we have to dig beyond. See, the thing about us now, we are unprincipled. We didn't have a lot of money 50 years ago, but we had principles. We have lost principles. We done came and we done gone savage. We done came and we got the white man stink on us. So we think like the white man now. You see what I'm saying? We think like the white man now. That's why all your black leaders can sell out 1 billion people based on money. You see what I'm saying? Now, so they're going to try to say that ain't nobody in this doggone land is pure black and we're all one ancestry because we all got this genetic link based on slavery. Number two, that's one thing based on the whole reparation, but what they're really trying to do is they're trying to save their ass by trying to say, if somehow we can prove to the gods that we got some black in us, then maybe we can be saved. But the saving ain't got shit to do with the physical body. We're talking about the soul. And that which don't have a soul cannot go to the next realm. So it don't matter what kind of bargain you got. If you ain't an origin, and in order to have a soul, you got to be from the original point of origin. That means that at one time in the universe, you were a star. Now, anybody that came about on the airplane after that time don't qualify. We're talking about you. They're not capable of, even if they were good enough and we wanted them to go. They cannot do it. There's no way a dog can ever be a damn human being. It just ain't happening. You see what I'm saying? But a fucking canine got a better chance of being raised up than a fucking white man. At least we made it. We made the white man too, but at least we made that as a form of the ecological system. Now, how many people saw the movie The Skulls? One thing about the movie, you know, they told you what time it was, but there's one key about the movie. They also showed you that the brother up in there, the one that was a police officer that ended up killing the guy then, that was the Boulay. Yeah. Remember now, the Boulay relieves the white man of his civic duty. He was connected with what? The senator. So we come in contact with the Illuminati people. Okay, go ahead. Shit sticking on my face like this, and I'm talking over looking at the shit. I say, y'all let a nigga talk for 30 minutes with some fucking paper sticking on his face. So if that happens, y'all let me know. Now. Okay. So they showed that the black guy in there was a Boulay member also too. But it also showed, you know, because there was another little black boy hanging out with the white boy. Then the damn white boy, he said, don't tell me you're going to join the Skull and Bones. The white boy looked at him like, see your nigga ass. And then realized he wouldn't be tripping because they killed no black guy. You know what I'm saying? But they had to put that all in the movie, but you just draw the line on what's going on. But there's one thing about that. The reason why I want to say that is this. The guy that wrote the book, Our Kind of People, and boastfully bragged, that's the same thing, boastfully and brag, the same thing. And boastfully told us that he was a doggone Boulay member. Whereas 10 years ago, that would have been unheard of because we didn't know about it until Steve Coakley unmasked that. Now, we got to give Steve Coakley credit for that because Steve Coakley is the one. He did such a good job until this is what happened. The reason why the boy on the book, Our Kind of People, Otis Graham or something, that guy, the reason why he announced that he was a Boulay member out publicly, because the Boulay is no longer the conspiratorial organization that it was. See, what they did is this here. Steve Coakley did such a good job unmasking the Boulay until what happened is the Boulay, the real conspiratorial people, they go underground and form a new organization, and the Boulay just become a regular fraternal order, like the AKAs and the Deltas, you see what I'm saying, or the Elks Club or whatever. You see what I'm coming from? Yeah. So, because now you literally see them saying that this Boulay member, and it's out in the public, that means that the people that conspire against you, the advisors of the king, that's no longer the Boulay. they got a new organization that you don't know about. Same thing with the Skull and Bones. The guy unmasked the Skull and Bones, and really, a lot of the Skull and Bone information came out based on a white boy that went to Yale in 1985, started doing these reports on it. So basically what they did is they went up underground, and the Skull and Bones is just a regular fraternal order. But remember in the movie, they was talking about, there was about 6 other orders, and they showed one with a snake on it, but they didn't tell you the name of it. So they got other orders that they can go and be up under, but that would just be a fraternal order. You see, so that's a, once one is exposed, they let that just become a regular institution, and the other one goes up underground. So when you're looking for a Boule member now, some people that now join the Boule just gonna just be regular people in a regular postgraduate fraternal order. But it doesn't mean that they're conspiratorial people, because the simple fact, the real conspirators have even gone deeper underground. You see what I'm saying? So that's how that goes. You see. So now they got the movie Gladiator that started today. Now, first of all, 2 things happening. Number 1, they're trying to do the Christ story, a slave, but basically it's the same Ben-Hur and Spartacus combined. You get Spartacus and Ben-Hur, I'm quite sure this movie is going to be resemblance to that. But also, it's about that whole Roman order again. And so if they can reestablish the Roman order, which is white supremacy, doing this lineup, the movie will be their ritual. But now the movie gonna have some esoteric part relating to you too. So go get Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur is the black man. All the stuff that Ben-Hur goes through, if you look at the stuff he goes through, it's the black man totally. And Spartacus, you see. But also on one line, they're using it for this time to reestablish the white boy as the ultimate gladiator. You see? And I think the guy, Hyman Yunsu, whatever his name is, he even dies in the movie, I believe. The black guy. So that's, there you go again, just like kill Jim Kelly at fucking Enter the Dragon. Yeah, I never got over that shit. Yeah, you know, and it came out when I was in junior high school or elementary school, so I just thought I was young. But now every time I see it, it bothers me that they killed Jim Kelly in that movie. But what happened was, we come to find out it was a ritual. They showed the 3 races, white, Asian, that represents the Arab and all that kind of stuff, and the black man, and they killed the black man. And he was better than the damn cracker. The cracker couldn't even fight, John Saxon.
That's right, yeah. You got that right, that's right.
So that was a damn ritual. I mean, one of the greatest martial arts movie ever. But yet, that part right there, I can't get past that damn part to this day. And I thought, because I was young, I saw that shit where I said, well, this is some fucked up shit. Yeah. They gonna kill Jim Kelly ass. You know what I'm saying? You know, I became a fan after that. Well, give me some 3 the hard way, some Black Belt Jones, or Black Samurai, whatever. But anyway, the whole thing with the whole Gladiator is another part that they released at this particular time based on this lineup. Now, this planetary lineup is in actuality this entire, from today until the 18th. You see. So they said that the lineup today, the one on the 18th is going to be even closer. But even the one closer, they are not even nowhere perfect than the one they had in 97. The one in 97 was a real planetary alignment. These, it's like a zigzag, it's like a snake. You see what I'm saying? And ultimately, you use this energy to go on the offensive, but nature itself, by and large, cannot destroy itself. In order for this thing to be destroyed, it has to have an alien object from the outside, like a cancer, that will ultimately destroy it. Fortunately, that alien object came to the earth when you first came on the earth, and that alien object is your soul. We'll get into that also too. But still yet, this is a good time to start the offensive now. We got to go into this tonight, and I'm going to show you how I was able to do this thing and what I'm going to get down with. But I advise you not to do this shit. You like to say, don't try this shit at home. Please don't try this at home. Because it might burn down 16 city blocks. Kill everybody in your family and your state. But I was able to survive it about a month ago. So I guess I need to carry this shit out. So I'm going to tell you what I'm getting ready to do. You see, I'm going to war. And don't need no guns or no bombs. As a matter of fact, the Spirit told me today, they said they're going to try to kill you on the goddamn plane today. And here come a little rolling up a little old Learjet bullshit. Wasn't even a regular plane. You know what them express things? Little Learjet shit. I said, God damn, what is this? I said, don't worry about it. I got it covered. I already had the hookup. Got on the plane and showed up. As soon as we got in New York, they circled for 30 minutes and the plane started shaking like this. And I said, they about to crash this shit. And I said, oh, I get it now. They didn't put the regular commercial flight. There only about 50 people on the plane, so they said, we won't miss them crackers. So they didn't have a big 200. I'm telling you, some stuff going down. But then again, on the other hand, if you rolling on the spirit realm, you exempt from all the dumb shit. You see what I'm saying? You exempt from all the dumb stuff. So we'll go into that in a few minutes and stuff. But let's go on to some other things we need to deal with right now. Get Wishmaster Volume 1 and 2. Wishmaster 1 and 2. The movie Wishmaster 1 and 2. Wishmaster 1 and 2. Now let me explain this. The Wishmaster is a jinn, or the jinn comes from the word genie. And the word genie is in a bottle. You ever heard of the genie in the bottle? And you take the genie out of the bottle and you grant the wishes? Well, that's an alchemical, that is an alchemical mythology. The genie in the bottle represents melanin. The bottle is the pineal gland. And when you unleash the genie in the bottle, you get the wishes or you get the glory. So the genie is short for jinn. Jinn becomes, you see, then by the time it becomes with Islam, Muhammad and them outlaw all of the ancient Persian and Zoroastrianism, ancient mythology of the Kushite Arabian. So this stuff is some much more advanced stuff that later on was degraded and turned into something evil. You getting it? So the genie in the bottle is basically, when you unleash this spiritual melanated energy, you get the wishes. 3 wishes, three glands, and 3 major glands in the brain. 3 stars in Orion's belt, 3 crosses on Calvary, 3 pyramids in Giza Plateau, 3 spears of the Kabbalah, Jubilee, Jubilee, Jubilam, 3 wise men. You see what I'm saying? 3 blind mice. What's the blind mice? The 3 blind mice is the 3 pineal, the 3 glands in your head is blind to the physical world because you need these 2 eyes, but it can see in the spirit world when you tap into it. And old George Clinton and them did a damn song, 3 blind mice on your ass. Dropping this shit. Now that's what that's talking about, the 3 glands in the head. Anyway, get that movie because they said, told her, he said, if I get enough people to make a wish, and the last movie was really dropping. She said, what will happen? He said, if you make your final wish, naturally you're going to kill him and save the world. It's always a ritual going on. He said, the jinns walk the earth again if we do this wish. You are the jinn. The jinn just means your inner self, one's own genius. You see, all this stuff that was outlawed, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism outlawed the inner nature of man. You see, okay, let's go on. Now, do you hear this thing? See, this is why we got to take the earth off. We got to really use this time to make a statement and a manifestation, and make the spirits do this. And it can't be done, you see, So now, they said now the other night on Politically Incorrect that from 1776 to 1990, 214 years. 214 years. It took them to get 1 million people in prison. It took them 214 years to get 1 million people in prison. And it only took them 10 years in the 1990s to double the million. That it took them 214 years to do, it only took them 10 years to double that, to 2 million. You best believe that's because they throwed all the other hinds in jail. You understand where I'm coming from? Now, we found out some other information based on the melatonin. I want to get this right quick. Now listen to this. Because see, y'all all right? Yeah. Okay. This is the new book Melanin people, how to eat and devour their energy. White Luciferian group reveals their secrets. Also, we have some more of these occult technology of power left over also, which how the white boys say, how you put a nigga in slavery. If you give them freedom and make them think that they are in charge, you can immediately put them in slavery. Now, but I want to show you something. I slept on this book for a while. You see. I slept on this book, and number one, the reason why we give bibliography in books is because the government can exploit you if you don't give bibliography in books. And if you come up and you run off at the doggone mouth, the government, they already know that the people out here don't never believe what we're saying. They're only going to believe what the people say on TV. But they don't mess with you if they know you give them bibliographies. This is the difference between them exploiting Farrakhan and not even mentioning Dr. Ben's name. Because they know if you give a person a book, you can convince that person that night that that nigga on TV is crazy, but if that person can go to the library and read the book and turn to the back and get other bibliography, he can start thinking for himself. You see? So, in actuality, you should always appreciate somebody coming and giving you bibliography. Even if you don't even go and buy the shit, you at least know you got a paper at your house that's got a reference that you can go to in the future if you want to learn something about it, but at least you can quote that shit to some no good niggas that's gonna try to dispute you, even if you ain't got the book in your house. You just quote what Dr. Ben and them said. Go get Christianity before Christ, John G. Jackson. You see? Let them go get the shit. That's why Phil Donahue couldn't do nothing with Dr. Jeffers. They got him on there, they started to do that shit. They thought it was gonna be something like some crazy person, and he came with the ammunition. And at the end, Phil Donahue had dropped his head. Because you ain't dealing with no food. Now here's a book called Melatonin, Your Body's Own Natural Wonder Drug. Now I slept on this book by Russell J. Reeder, PhD, and Joe Robinson. Russell J. Reeder, PhD, and J.O. Robinson. But Reeder is R-E-I-T-E-R, Reacher, or writer, Reacher, I guess, I don't know. You know, I read it like it says in Africa, Reader. The white boy say W, the E is silent, so that would be writer. You know what I'm saying? Because he's got a bastardized name and try to justify that shit. And your brain is telling you, you know, so this is called Melatonin, Your Own Body Natural Wonder Drug, by Russell J. Reeder, PhD, and J.O. Robinson. Now, I'm going to read something up in here, but I'm going to clear up some shit, because see, there's some black doctors that got some excuse that the white boy gave them. And they got this excuse, but I'm going to read something here in a minute. Number one, I want to say this. Do you know that the melatonin pills that they got, guess how they figured out how to make them? First of all, they initially put the melanin and the B12 in the crack cocaine to get it to you so it can get up in your brain and you can't never get rid of it. So after they were successful with that, they said, hey, wait a minute. We have discovered a way on how we can break these things down in pill form and give them to regular white people. So therefore, based on doing this initially with the crack cocaine, they came up with the melatonin pills. Because even cocaine, they say if you originally see it, it's black. And then they bleach it into what you got white like that. Now this is the shit. Huh? Yeah, but this stuff here is straight up from synthetic niggas walking down the street. They bleach it. Because this book proves it once and for all. This book proves it. Now, number one, everything that this book says that melanin cures, we got. So the book proves that we don't catch no disease at all. Everything is administered to us by the doctor. Anti-aging, we know that. Prevents AIDS, we got AIDS. But we know that they're giving us the bullshit and telling us that whole thing, you know. They're giving us, they're killing us and calling it AIDS, but they say because melanin prevents this so-called HIV. Built-in protection against cancer. Niggas got cancer. Now, hear what I'm saying? They're saying that there is a cure for cancer, AIDS, built-in thing against diabetes. Niggas got plenty of diabetes. That means if melanin is the cure, that means that they got to be giving you, they have to be giving you this shit. They got to be giving you that. Because what they're saying, that melanin cures all of that. It says it works against PMS. It's a birth control. The niggas got a lot of babies. And extending sexuality in later years. There you go with the Viagra shit. Remember I told you that the Viagra was made this way? Well, they're saying it right here in the book. So, their result after this book came, you can get it now, it's for like $6. It was $22, but you can get it now for like $6. It's the same book. Now, the thing with diabetes is this.
Where?
You can, any place sell. You can get this on any, Barnes and Nobles, any places. This book here. When I was a child, I thought the only people got diabetes was born with this shit. Then they come out and saying, you got diabetes since you're overweight. Now they got niggas 25 just come down with shit overnight. Now there's a diabetes epidemic that's breaking out in America amongst black people. You see what I'm saying? And nobody else. That means in actuality, when you go to the doctor, what they do is they shut down your pancreas. Then they put you on insulin that keeps your pancreas shut down. Because insulin destroys the pancreas. You see what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, but they saying in here melanin cures diabetes. That means every disease has to be given to us based on the melanin, based on the doctor. They go into, now it's interesting, remember I told you about last year, the summer solstice, that they had first of all, we got a cure for all that too. We give you a cure for the people who got these diseases. You can write your own ritual out, and I'll go through this in a few minutes on how you can do this to get rid of any kind of shit. But remember I told you last summer during the summer solstice, they came out with these sodas, and they put these sodas in the black community, 12 packs, 99 cents, niggas had 2 and 3 baskets. Well, in here, huh? Well, I'm just saying, any sodas, period. In here, they talk about the number one thing, one of the number one things that shuts down melanin is soda. Joe, Mountain Dew, Tab, orange juice, Sunkist orange, Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper, Pepsi-Cola Diet Right, Coca-Cola 7-Up, Sprite, Diet 7-Up, Fresca, Heinz Root Beer, Sunkist, I mean, goddamn, that's everything. So, they know that the soda shuts it down. Number 2, sleep deprivation. Remember I was talking about the sleep the last time? Sleep deprivation. Not getting enough sleep shuts it down. Fluorescent lights. And we understand why I couldn't. And they got a whole thing in here based on certain, electronic devices, just about everything in the society shuts down melanin. So the white boys built a whole civilization just to shut down melanin. Now in here also, they go in and they give you foods high in melanin, you know, that tryptophan that they had to take off the market. Because, you know, turkey is in that. Spirulina, seaweed, soy nuts, cottage cheese. It says high in melanin, so. Chicken liver, pumpkin seeds, turkey, tofu, watermelon seeds, all that, almonds, peanuts, brewer's yeast, malted milk, They got ice cream and yogurt. I don't know, they must be enhanced white people shit. But I do happen to know sometimes stuff like yogurt, anything you got like a fungi, and stuff like any kind of fungus, like mushrooms and shit like that, any kind of fungus is great with melanin because that's what melanin is. It's an ancient fungus left over from the time when we were gods. We'll get into that type of stuff. So that stuff usually does that. But it's just interesting. The bibliography in here and the references is almost down near 20 pages long on that much stuff on how much research they're doing on melatonin. It's the #1 shit around the world. Right. You see, all the research is based on pineal research. Now, this is the key on what the damn doctor tried to play on me. I was telling him that every time you look in the supermarket and you see those pills, those are black people. Now that's bovine. A cow got a pineal gland and they get it from cows. I say, you know damn well a cow ain't walking around with that kind of melanin. Well, #1, everything on the planet has a form of melanin, including white people. But the kind of melanin and shit, this shit ain't coming from no cows. So, it was interesting, because this book, in the chapter called The $3 billion-year-old molecule, they go into the history on how the white boy tapped in melanin with Aaron Lerner at Yale University in 1953. Some say 59, this book says 53. But it says when he tapped into it, they had to get melanin, and for some reason, they wasn't into killing for melanin like they are now. So as a result, what happened was, they had to go out and get some cows. Now look at this. Now this, see, all the thing the white man got to do is give you an excuse. You believe the white man. Yeah. Because you programmed to accept him as the authority. When basically he's been just a liar.
Yeah. Big lie.
So the only thing he has to do is say, oh, we getting it from cows. So you go, okay, the white man say he getting it from cows. Hey, the white man say he getting it from cows. You mistaken. No, the white man said he getting it from cows. You won't even question it. You must support anything the enemy opposes and oppose anything the enemy supports. So, you know, your boy Kwame Ture told you the white man don't lie some of the time, he lies all the time.
That's right.
Every time. So now in here, it says, and I quote, page 14, it says that when they went to get the cows, it took 2,500 cows to produce 100 milligrams of pineal extract. Now 100 milligrams is a third of an aspirin, a tenth of an aspirin. You know, they tell you most vitamin C's, they say, if it ain't past 500 milligrams, you just will not even buy the shit. You know what I'm saying? Most everything got at least 500 milligrams. They saying that it took, when you hear this, it took 2,500 cows to produce 100 milligrams of pineal extract. They didn't even say melanin. So that means to get a shelf load in the supermarket, you would have to kill every cow, and to get one shelf load in one supermarket, you got to kill every cow in the whole state of New York. And because cow is used now for damn hamburgers, they done got rid of the original human cows probably in the 1970s. And this shit here straight up clone meat. So therefore, anytime you clone something, you know it don't have the damn pineal extract no more. It the 1952 cow had. So this destroys this thing that they're getting it from bovine because it took 2,500 cows just to make a damn a magnifying glass full. That means that they're only getting it from black people. You see? They're only getting it from black people. Now let's go on. What time is it?
You got about
6 o'clock.
Huh?
you got half an hour, about half an hour. It's 10:45. That's why you don't mess with dairy products.
Huh?
You don't mess with dairy products. With milk, with
Yeah, you know, naturally.
butter.
You know.
No cheese, no butter.
Yeah, you know, but, like I said, there's ways to override that shit also. There's ways to override that also too, but you are right. You are right about that. Now, because it's interesting that you said that, because now the new lactose intolerant commercials that they got that lactate, they showing an old fine ass black woman up there. See, it ain't nothing by accident. Know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing by accident. 99% of the time, they gonna give you that old pine saw woman. You know, that Aunt Jemima shit. They ain't gonna give you no fine ass sister. Going places, sister. Her ass up there, and they're doing that for they're trying to drive it home. And that fine ass sister can drink this lactate shit, you can too. But why would they pick the black girl for that? So that is interesting you said that type of thing also too. Now, let's go on. Down in Atlanta, they got this thing going down with H-Rap Brown. That's gonna be the new shit. That's gonna be the new OJ thing. It's this H-Rap Brown thing. You see what I'm saying? First of all, they came on the news the night down in Atlanta and said, this guy who shot the police officer, we returned rounds and shot him and he bled a trail of blood. But by the time they get H-Rap Brown, they ain't got a shot on him. But all of a sudden they're not saying that now about, they spoke too soon. But that's gonna be the new thing that's going down. So they can bring that like the O.J. Simpson thing, and Black Panther. So they'll be dealing with that whole thing. And he connected with the Islam thing that already put him in the whole terrorist thing. You see? So that's the new thing that you can watch out for that they're getting ready to get down with in a few months. And it'll be nationwide. I'm just telling you to look out for it also too. Because it's going to be nationwide. Let's go on. Let's see here. They're selling human protein in GNC. Human protein in GNC. Now, so that means that the leftover stuff that they got from the melanin, after they clean the melanin out the bodies, they pack all that stuff together and boom, that side effect shit, or the stuff, the side item of the scraps, they're using that and they sell it in all parts of the body. Now, let's go on. Since we pressed for time, I want to get into this particular science right now based on this particular warfare. So to start with this, first of all, let's see here. Y'all all right?
Yes.
First of all, I want to deal with this right now. First of all, in this book, there's always two schools of thought. So Darwin was right. He'll have a way of presenting some stuff. Valentine will have a way of presenting some stuff. And I'll have a way of presenting some stuff. Ultimately, it's just knowledge. You're supposed to at least go out and study for yourself. And by me saying don't follow what I say, I can stand up here and basically give you my side of it. And if you don't go study it, that's up to you. Now, my side of it is a little bit different. Now, this is nothing disrespectful because we can agree as Africans to disagree. But my thing is based on my research. And all the research I got is that the menstrual is normal. This is based on my research. You can take it or leave the shit alone. Now let me explain. Because most people menstrual cycle. Most people, because you are looking at it from a physical or physiological or medical perspective, it don't make no sense. But when you look at it from a spiritual perspective, it makes all the sense in the world. It just depends on what angle you're coming from. Now, in this melatonin book, they tell you about melanin is also for birth control. Now, the reason why a lot of the menstrual cycle might not make no sense physically because you have to go through it now, but it makes sense astronomically because there's a 28-day cycle of the moon, 28-day cycle of the doggone menstrual. So if it's that fucked up, why is it lining up with the damn moon? Huh? Now, the way I'm gonna break it down tonight now I can say in defense of Valentine that maybe he's right. Maybe the menstrual flow was not as heavy as now, and that can, based on diet, can make sure that you can gauge what kind of flow you have based on diet. I will probably agree to that. But what I'm trying to say here is, but for the mere fact that a lot of the scholars are saying that you didn't have a menstrual at all until bad diet is some bullshit. Because I got the damn Smin rights in ancient Kemet dealing with the menstrual. We got Marisa Ecklert's book deal with the people in Papua New Guinea. These motherfuckers live in the rainforest, eating leaves and branches and trees. You can't get no more nation in that shit, and they got a menstrual right. The Aborigines got a menstrual right. The Africans got a menstrual right. The Egyptians, you mean to tell me that our diet was better than the Egyptians? And they got a menstrual right. And we got these menstrual rights old as back as pre-dynastic Kemet, the Typhonian line. So I want to know, you see, and I still want to know right now, how many people are staunch vegetarians? I'm talking about sisters, I ain't talking about hardheads. How many sisters is staunch vegetarians? Do you still have a period? That's what I'm trying to say. When the motherfucker gonna stop? Now, what I'm going to explain to you now is based on when I give you this information, it'll make a lot better sense. The system had a built-in mechanism of birth control. And the built-in mechanism was when she wanted to abort, spiritually, she could bring on her period automatically based on her biological makeup and her social condition, rites of passage, and the spiritual know-how being semi-gods. So she had this mechanism to bring on the menstrual cycle to abort whenever she felt that she didn't want something to come down, because a motherfucker coming down here don't mean shit. Incarnation is the worst motherfucking shit you could ever go through. So let's not be funny with this damn mess. Ain't no God sent you shit. You decided whether you want to have a baby, and if not, the damn baby, because if it's a spirit and it's not physical, it just go to another motherfucker. That was solely up to you whether you wanted to incarnate or not. So if you decided you didn't want the baby, for whatever reason, you might have not just didn't want it. But we weren't dealing on no moralistic bullshit based on some patriarchal bullshit about babies being all goddamn sacred. Have one and see if that motherfucker's sacred. Now, there you go. All you gotta do, sisters, is tap into what reality is other than what you was taught. Fuck the dumb shit, motherfucker waking you up 4 o'clock in the morning. If that's a burden or what, that's an asset or a damn liability. But we chose the time when we wanted to psychologically put up with the dumb shit. But if the life flow says this doesn't suggest the time, you could bring your period on and get rid of it. Just basically by signaling into the body. See what I'm saying? So if the menstrual originally was a natural birth control and you lost the science to it and now it comes on or whatever, you don't know what's going on, don't just say it's abnormal because some male, and I'm not talking about Valentine, I'm talking about the patriarchal system of Islam and Judaism to tell you the shit is unclean. It's the most sacred time you got. Because the male said some dumb shit like this, and the fucking, most of your Islamic motherfuckers, the white Arab was homosexuals. They hated women. The white Arab, the motherfucker that Muhammad had to tame. Muhammad's father was Cushite Arabs of Arabians from Ethiopia. But he had the whole reason why you even got a Quran, because they had to be submissive to Allah based on a savage white man. You don't supposed to even follow no damn Quran.
Right.
Or no other fucking holy book to tell you to bow down.
Right.
And not become God.
Right.
That was for another people. That's why the shit came
That's right.
after you fell. 6,000 BC, your human history was over. If you didn't need the damn book to tell you to bear witness then, what the fuck you say?